Good morning, guys. In the US, it is time for WePlay Dota 2 action. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit. I'm actually alone today, as Luminous will be joining me a bit later on Skype, but for now, I'm here all alone in the studio, and that means, well, I've actually got to, not just sit over on... Normally I'm on this computer, normally I'm just browsing away on Skype, not actually watching the games too much. I'll respond to something Lumi says every now and then. Make fun of him every now and then, but I've actually got to do some work today. We're going to have ourselves two best of two today. We're actually in Group B now. We can take a quick look of the standings. We finished and wrapped up Group A, and we're going to hop ourselves into Group B, which is proving to be very, very interesting. A nice list of teams here. Group A, we do have our not so updated end results there. Kaipi ended up finishing on first place, with Mao's Quantic Flipside finishing in second. That was our final standings. I believe not with those exact scores. I think Kaipi finished off 7-1. Mao's Quantic Flipside were, I think, 5-3. And those two teams advanced. Only the top two teams from each of these groups ended up advancing. And as a result, the other three knocked out. So Virtus Pro no longer a part of the tournament. Same for NextKZ and Cascade, which wasn't any big surprise. But we're going to move ourselves on forward towards Group B. It's Dignitas, 4FC, Empire, EG, going to be revealing their new lineup, I believe, sometime soon. Maybe playing with a few stand-ins until they actually do that here in Group B. And then Flipside, who have been replaced, they are no longer going to be in Group B. They're actually being replaced by DTS2010, as a couple of the Flipside players are playing in that Group A team, the Mao's Quantic Flipside trio. So our first matchup today is going to be 4FC, Four Friends and Chili, up against DTS2010. Well, draft is underway. We're actually going to hop ourselves in just a second now, guys. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I know there's some... fantastic high-profile Starlight games going on right now, but WePlay Dota 2. It's a place to be. Also, if you're wondering, there is the WePlay website where I believe they have actual bets for the matches. You can bet on things, follow all the action, as that sort of intro video suggests. If you know the teams, you can actually make a bit of money. It's an actual online betting site around this matches, around this tournament. So, we'll help ourselves into this game. I'll be solo casting for the time being. 4FC, they're playing over on the Dire side. DTS2010 on the radio. We casted these guys once in the qualifier because there was a sort of open last chance qualifier for the spot of Flipside Gaming once it was found out they weren't going to play. So it was these guys, Aspera, and I believe Dusa, who fought over that last spot. And these they looked really solid. The one game we casted, their opening match, they played some just really all-around conservative Dota as well. It wasn't that sort of aggressive Russian Dota. They played a very safe style. They didn't give away too many kills unnecessarily, and just managed to play sort of a more full protect 1E type style. As we'll see how they match up here against 4FC, a team who's just been around forever and ever. And they actually play a fairly safe style of their own, built around Krilly as sort of one of their carries, or sometimes solo mid players, depending on what they want to do here. You've got Strangby, Blom, Boomski, and Dr. Internet. So one or two names who I don't actually recognize who generally play with this 4FC squad, but we'll see them having the second pick this game. They actually gave up a first pick Batrider, so deciding to ban out the Wisp as well as Visage instead. I think partly because they knew they could get this Naga Siren. Naga Siren is quickly becoming one of the sort of the most sought after support heroes in the game, and while giving away Batrider isn't too nice, if you pick up a Naga Siren for it, it's maybe an okay-ish trade. They grab Weaver as well, which gives DTS 2010 the Darkseer with these opening two picks, and then we get ourselves towards the second picking stage. So for 4FC, they've got the Weaver. This is a hero they can put in the off lane, can put in mid, can put as a safe lane solo if they want to go offensive trial. This is very versatile as far as their laning goes. DTS 2010, similar story though. Batrider, Darkseer, not really limited to one lane. You can put Darkseer in the mid lane, off lane. Same for Batrider, and both of them can actually spend some time in the jungle, which is good, because if you get shut down, forced out of the lane in the off lane, you just go straight into that jungle. Make sure you can get some experience, some farm, without falling too far behind. As well, that's it. I've been saying DTS, yeah, it's DTS 2010. I think I've actually called them DTS 2013 in various places. This is DTS 2010, an homage to the old Russian and all the CIS team that dominated for some time, and actually went off to China and took down eHome when they were considered to be unbeatable. Although they finished third place in that, I think it was the WDC. It was still a fantastic performance from those guys. So this team here, none of those players, of course. That was back in the old days of Dendy and whatnot. And we'll see how this team here can actually perform, and whether or not they can live up to that legend. It's not going to be something they can easily do, or that will take them some time. But right now, they've got themselves two more picks. 4FC, they go for a puck with their third pick. So get themselves, well, they're solo mid. You sort of look at this and you say it's not going to really be late anywhere else. Puck almost exclusively laned in that middle lane. It can go into the off lane, can sort of have a one-one matchup in side lanes, but generally speaking, that's not too favorable for the puck, and his mid lane is sort of his home. So we look towards Weaver being played in one of the side lanes, which is no surprise. Probably mid something his sort of lesser field role. Something that some of the Chinese teams like to do, but the Western teams much prefer him in the off lane or in that sort of tri-lane farming role. But we do see DTS2010 picking themselves up Jakiro. So this is the start of what looks to be a big AoE mid-game team fight. You have your Darkseer vacuum into an Ice Path Macropie. There's a ton of AoE damage flying around, and enough to kill off almost any lineup here. If you get Lifesteal out of Rage, which is the next pickup for 4FC, you can actually kill him off, because you vacuum him, which stuns him down, follow up by an Ice Path, and if you get enough stun lock there, these heroes will melt. So 4FC, as said, pick up Lifesteal, which is a hero I very highly rate. This is one of those heroes which got nerfed quite hard a couple of times. Had his open wounds, the range cast at early levels really heavily hurt, but he is still as strong as ever and just looking like a pick that we're going to keep seeing lots and lots of in the competitive Dota scene. We've seen some teams like IG first picking it, and even some of these Western teams still first, second picking it. Fnatic love their Lifestealer, so it's not going anywhere, guys, for those of you who hate this hero, unfortunately. But Templar Assassin, the fourth pick now for DTS 2010, that looks towards, there we look towards the mid lane, and this is a hero who really good against puck in a 1v1 matchup, which is probably partly their reasoning in picking this up, and also just going to give them a nice bit of sort of semi-carry potential coming out in various stages of the game. They don't really have any sort of physical damage output yet. They'll be still looking to last pick something of a safe lane carry nature, but having a TA sort of as your stepping stone and to provide some mid-game control as well as DPS is really nice. And you need physical damage against a Lifestealer, so meld with all the minus armor and burst damage on a Lifestealer could be a fantastic solution to actually, dealing with Lifestealer, Naga Siren, high armor as well. So these heroes are fairly tanky and hard to bring down. You can't entirely rely on magic damage, which is, apparently we're getting some Dota 2 sound issues. Hopefully that's something that can be fixed out. Well, I'll quickly, how's it sounding now? You get them now? Alright, well, we'll have to, when Lumi joins us on Skype, we'll have to try to find a solution. A magic workaround so that I can hear Lumi. As last couple picks now coming out from 4FC and DTS 2010. 4FC going to grab themselves Chen, so they needed their final support, and they're actually going to have not the strongest of lanes with this Chen pick, just because they don't really have a ranged harasser as a support here to zone anyone out of these lanes. If you're looking towards a Naga Siren plus Weaver, or maybe even Naga Siren plus Lifesteal dual lane. So for Darkseer or whoever goes into the off lane, it's like, sweet, we have a good time there. Can't actually be zoned out too early on. The Weaver probably does a better job of that, but if it's just Naga Siren Lifesteal, Darkseer gets experience, gets some farm, does have to worry about when the Chen's going to start coming in, rotating, looking for kills. That's not going to come right off the bat. As last pick now for DTS 2010, and it looks like they may just be running a jungle, either Darkseer or Bat. Probably the Bat Rider, slightly, I'd say, better jungler than the Darkseer, and Darkseer just a slightly better offlaner than Bat Rider, so it makes a lot more sense to put the Darkseer into that jungle, put the Darkseer into the offlane and put Bat Rider into the jungle. And they just need some kind of a hero to lane with the Jakiro. They can't get too greedy here, I feel. They've already got a jungle here. I don't think they want to go for your anti-mage type carry, but having something with an extra bit of oomph to deal with the Lifesteal of the Weaver, and also deal with the split push as well, which could potentially be coming out. Naga Siren Sleep makes it a lot more annoying to deal with. As last pick now for DTS 2010. They've only got themselves 30 seconds. This is our opening match in Group B. Both these two teams want to start themselves off with a win. The way this format works is it's a round robin, 2-game series against every team. So you verse every team twice in a round robin. You basically play both the 2 games at once, and the top 2 teams advance. So initially when we started casting, I was like, okay, top 3, maybe at least top 3, maybe even 4 teams advance to like a 16-team playoff bracket. No. 2 teams advance from each group. We have 8-team playoff bracket. And that's where things get nasty. So you've got to do well in the group stage. You can't just sort of get lackadaisical and not have to worry about the group stage like some tournaments where maybe how you do isn't sort of as important in that group stage. But they're going to go Shadow Demon last. So where do we even look towards as far as these lanes are concerned? Does TA even go towards the mid lane against the puck? It has a great 1-for-1 matchup there, but something they could look to do is just safe lane the TA and play it more as a sort of carry type hero. As a couple of these players are disconnecting. We have to remake. It looks like the wrong server was selected for this game, guys. So we're going to quickly hop ourselves back into the next lobby and hopefully get things underway. But yeah, interesting that they go for the Shadow Demon last, because this means they don't have an actual safe lane farmer. You can look towards TA play does that. Even the Bat Rider or one of these other heroes gets put in the safe lane maybe, and they don't do any sort of traditional hard safe lane farming hard carry. Some teams have run just sort of unorthodox farming Sand Kings, farming just these utility heroes you want in the safe lane. Like a Bat Rider, you want a fast blink, give them the safe lane free farm, and then put TA mid, because TA is actually going to just do just fine at mid lane. So I'll quickly grab the password for the next game and get things underway, hopefully without too much further delay. As nope. It's been a long time since I've done a solo cast. I'm actually looking forward to it. Something I used to do a lot of. All casters, when you start out, you do a ton of solo casters, especially back in the days when there weren't many casters around and it wasn't like like the go-to thing that you did dual cast. The idea that you would actually co-cast with someone was a new concept. I remember doing all my first dual cast with Purge. That was actually a lot of fun. Purge is still one of my favorite people I've ever co-casted with. Maybe my actual favorite. He's a lot of fun to cast with, and has improved a ton as well. So maybe I'll convince him to get back on a Beyond the Summit broadcast one day. But we're going to be back in the lobby now. All players should be here and ready to get underway. So we've got 2 best of 2s today. For those of you who don't know, our first one here is 4FC versus DTS2010. And following this, we've got Dignitas playing in a 2-game series as well. I'm glad Kawa popped that up because I wasn't actually sure who it was against. They're playing against 4FC. So we'll see 4FC in a doubleheader against first DTS2010 and then Dignitas. The new Dignitas roster, this is the first time they've really been tested on an international level, as they've been playing the MLG North American League, but that's against your more amateur upcoming American teams, and they've had pretty much a walk in the park there. So this Group B here against teams like EG, 4FC, this DTS2010 team is going to be a much bigger challenge for them moving forward to see how the new lineup actually works out. As we'll get ourselves back into this game now. It's going to be an AP remake, DTS2010 picking up their heroes, and I'd love to see how this laning setup works. You've got the Shadow Demon Jakiro, so you've got really strong 2 supports here. It's just a matter of whose farm are they actually securing. I think TA does so well in the mid lane against Puck. I think TA beats Puck harder than a Bat Rider or Darkseer does, so not putting the TA mid seems just not how you'd want to lane this, but given the fact TA is their sort of main carry, maybe it's the case. Shadow Demon Jakiro can spend a lot of time roaming around if you want to put Bat Rider in the safe lane. Even farm up the Shadow Demon. We've seen teams, like I say, farm an unorthodox hero in the safe lane, which is something like a Shadow Demon, because they didn't want too much farm and greed going around, and too many farm-dependent heroes on their team, so they pick something like a Shadow Demon in the safe lane farming. It's like, well, he gets some early levels, gets some early farm, and then maybe he can go help out the team a bit more, but we'll see exactly what they want to do now, as we'll hop ourselves into the game, introducing our Radiant team. It is going to be Team DTS2010. We're going to have Seema the Slayer, the captain, playing the Bat Rider, Undershock on the Templar Assassin. He is heading towards the mid lane. CA on the Darkseer. We've got Ars Zeke playing the Jakiro, and then finally it's going to be Kan Noonian Singh playing the Shadow Demon. So looks like it will be that Bat Rider safe lane. He's heading down there, looks to be farming away, and we'll look at their opponents. It is going to be the team 4FC. They've been around for a long, long time. 4 friends and Trilly. It's Strangby on the offlane Weaver. At mid, it's going to be Blom playing the Puck, which of course leaves Krilly on the safe lane farming carry. It's going to be Krilly playing the Lifestealer, Dr. Internet on the Nagasar, and then finally Boomski playing the Chen. He's going to be going into that jungle. And for 4FC here, this draft of theirs looks to be very sort of, I'd say, early to mid-game centric. It's going to be around that sort of grey area where we're around the sort of maybe 10 to 15 minute mark, where they want to try and start pushing down towers. They'll get some early items on Lifestealer, depending if he goes for Midas. This guy really loves his Midas. He loves to farm, so we may see them look to try and play it more towards the late game. But with Chen hitting level 5, level 6, that's where they can really look to start taking down some towers. Force rotations out from the safe lane Bat Rider before he has a blink. Or he might have a blink dagger by then, depending on how fast he tries to rush it. And even the Darkseer, if he gets sort of zoned out of this top lane, this top tower can fall pretty quickly. But we'll see both teams hovering around this top rune. Not going to find Saxumi bottom, and it's a haste rune picked up by Strangby. He's already got one more down. Block this pull. As this little bush on the far right still does block this, something which isn't always that easy to deward. Generally, dewarding this pull camp does take 2 sentry wards, unless you guess right with the first one, but often it does take the double sentry ward. As they're just trying to zone out Strangby as much as possible in this bottom lane. Of course, picking up the Shikuchi, even with the haste ring in his hands, and he's going to get some okay XP here, I feel, at least here and there, even with this being a trial lane. Bat Rider doesn't have a direct stun or way of sort of doing a lot of burst damage to him early on. And the 2 supports, well, they're going to quickly realize, hey, we've got no pull. First sentry ward is not going to scatter anything. As that actually going to come back in, Strangby does need to be a bit careful. If his Shikuchi gets sort of wasted while he's either disrupted or ice pathed up, then he goes down. That's something he can't afford to happen. At the same time, he knows these two sentry wards are their only two sentry wards, and they really want to use it to de-ward the pool. So then they have no sentries for the lane. They've got no dust either. And suddenly this lane gets a lot easier for Weaver. There's no real way he can die, as we're going to see Zeke looking to sentry the other spot. Okay, he's found it with this one. You can check the magic bush. And these two sentries, I believe, cover all the available spots here. So they will de-ward it, not before the 1 minute mark. So it's still a good job with the blocking. Not having it de-warded by the 30 second spawn is expected. But if it's still not de-warded by the 1 minute mark, it's sort of achieved its purpose of at least wasting a bit of time, giving you a bit of space here as this offlane Weaver. As now he does have a lot more room to wiggle, because he's probably checked their inventory, sees that there's no sentries, no dust, and there's not a whole lot that can kill him. Although that was not... Oh! The ice path and the disruption shouldn't have been used there, because the Shikuchi has such a long cooldown. They could have almost just used him there with with just a straight up ice path. That should have been the play. They didn't want to actually use a disruption. There is still Shadow Demon looking to zone out Strangler here, but level 1 Shikuchi, the cooldown is 12 seconds, which is where if you use a Shikuchi in lane, even if they've got no detection... Oh, it's a first blood mid lane. There's a rotation coming out from Chen. And that is not the start I was looking for on my... What is today? I don't even know what today is. Wednesday morning? I believe Wednesday or Thursday morning. I missed first blood. As we are going to see Templar Assassin brought down. This is the one hero who's the only real physical damage, the only real carry on this team, and getting an early gank, an early rotation there is absolutely huge. Nagasar may have been level 2 for it. May have just been level 1 Nagasar, and he picked up the level 2 from getting the kill here, but all that was going on bottom. You see an early rotation, and clearly he's got uncontested free farm. He's not going for his Midas. He's going to be going for phase boots, it looks like. Meanwhile, mid lane, Templar Assassin is no longer going to be dominating this lane as much. At 12 CS to the 8 CS of Puck, and even just being out of the lane for a few seconds can sort of reset that CS advantage you may have had. And Chen, is there any more smokes, any more looks to rotate? None at the moment. And clearly just so happy about this empty lane. The supports don't even need to be there, and that's where mid lane gets under a lot of fire. When the supports don't have to actually help out your safe lane farmer, because there's no offlaner, well, supports know they can just rotate towards the mid lane, and Sentry are being dropped, and they get themselves a kill on the Templar Assassin. Oh, is this Observer Ward not spotted? I can't actually click these Sentry Wards all of a sudden. We'll click them in a second, maybe. It looks like it's been blocked once again, and oh my gosh, there's another rotation in the mid lane just as I walk away. I was just sort of trying to feel with my settings there, see why I couldn't actually select these Sentry Wards. There's a second kill in the mid lane, the Templar Assassin gets snagged, and another Sentry Ward being used. What is going on with these? I can't actually select these. I can select these, I can't select the others. This is going to bother me, and this is going to make me miss more kills. Why? Why? Seema the Slayer, the Batrider, the safe lane farmer. He's going, I guess, straight for a Blink Dagger, up to 1400 gold. Bone 7 likes the Boots of Travel Rush, so maybe we see a more Bone 7 inspired item build. But how do you recover from this as DTS2010? You're one main carry getting shut down in the middle lane, ganked twice, in a matchup he was supposed to win. This is going to be very difficult for them. Boots up on one support. Looks like the Chen has enough for Boots as well. And Puck at the mid lane with Boots and Bottle. He's actually Bottle Krong for the time being. Is going to be doing just fine. And once he's level 6, that's where you look towards maybe even another gank coming in. Uh-oh, Darkseer, you got to be careful. The Surge is there. There's one instead. There's also a second. Chen actually cancels it. And this is going to be a third kill going the way of 4FC. Clearly taking a lot of damage for this, but he's going to be just fine. He's also going to hit level 6 off this, so he can pop and infest on one of these big creeps. Looks like he's going to salve up and be okay as Strang be at bottom lane. Going to try and get himself some more levels. He's also going to magic stick out, so 4FC up 0-3, or 3-0 and over DTS 2010 very early on here in our opening game of Group B at the WePlay Dota 2 League. It's $25,000 in prize money now, as we'll see a bigger Season 2 prize pool. Season 1 having about $10,000 in cash prize as well, some hardware given out to the top teams, but Season 2 is back. It's even bigger. And well, Season 3, I've heard plans and talks about Season 3 already, so WePlay, they're here and they want to stay around and keep doing these events in the Dota 2 scene, and we love working with them here at Beyond the Summit, so we'll continue to do so. As we'll hopefully not continue to miss too many more kills here. As 4FC, this is like just the worst possible start you could have if you're DTS 2010. And there's a Lifestealer Infest. They've rotated bottom. They're going to kill off Seema here. It looks like the Ice Path has knocked me enough. What a rotation coming out from Krilly. This is a guy I just talked about just loving to farm, and he just decides to go out and prove me wrong. He says, I'm going to get my level 6, TP bottom, infest into the Weaver and just go Shikuchi in for a kill on the safe lane farming Batrider. Every hero who's meant to be doing well is not doing well. Your safe lane Batrider just gives up a kill. Your solo mid TA has died twice. This is disastrous for DTS2010, and this isn't even some, I wouldn't say, horrible play from them. They're just getting out-strategized and outmaneuvered by 4FC. The rotations mid, not getting really spotted out, and then that kind of a gank you never expect as a safe lane Batrider. You're like, what's this lifestealer doing? He's meant to be farming top. Why is he actually rotated bottom? And Puck going to pick up an Invis rune now. Meanwhile, Naga Siren Disruptor. There's not enough damage here. This is just an Ice Path to follow this up, and Puck is going to maybe drop a Coil here. Going to orb both heroes down. Silence is there. Coil not going to actually be... Maybe need to use that a second earlier when he can hit multiple heroes. He is going to now drop it, as Batrider is going to be able to kill Naga Siren. Unless there's a TP out soon and there's a Flame Break. Chase him down. So I don't see Dr. Instinct getting out of this one. Looks like Batrider will finish off the kill. So DTS2010 get themselves on the board. But that was expensive. Puck does drop a Dream Call there, but looks like Puck is going to just be walking his way back towards Smell Lane. So he's actually not ahead on Templar Assassin as far as experience goes, and even farm. So he's behind on the TA, still on CS, which is what you'd expect. Even with 2 deaths on a Templar Assassin, you come back to lane thinking, okay, or well, TA comes back to lane, you think, oh, he's been out of the lane, I've had some time to CS, but as soon as TA gets back, he's getting every last hit using that refract. And the trip back to base, ironically enough, giving him full mana, full HP to actually continue spamming that refraction and having a fantastic time over you at the mid lane. So very, very... one of Puck's probably hardest matchups in the middle lane. But we are going to have another rotation coming in. Is this going to be enough to maybe get a kill? There's an Ensnare to lead things off. There's enough mana for one meld, but Sentry's detection of any kind. It looks like Undershock is just going to walk his way out of this one. Jakiro was there as well, should he be needed. And more Templar traps being dropped just to use those slows and apply them where necessary. Lifesteal's back to farming. Going to see a phased drums build come out, so a very aggressive early game item build, and I'd love to see him look towards another TP bottom, get another Shikuchi Infest bomb. Seema, he's got Blink Dagger, but he also doesn't have Boots just yet. He does have enough gold now, so we'll probably see Boots combined with his Blink Dagger coming out, and now he's going to look to start controlling this game left, right, and center. He's going to leave just this sort of constant threat in 4SC's mind that no one is safe to farm, and just slow down their farm, slow down any sort of progression from them. And so 4FC are happy just to keep on farming themselves for a bit longer here. They're going to have a level 7 Chen, and if he gets a mech up, and while he has this Hand of God and triple creeps, it's impossible almost for DTS2010 to start taking fights. It's just not going to be something they can really do here. Any of their AoE damage gets negated by the mech, the Hand of God. The physical damage is less impressive with the plus armor from the mech, and already to begin with, it doesn't feel like DTS2010 have a ton of actual killing power. You have a Shadow Demon Jakiro, which is two defensive supports who are level 2, level 4. They don't have a lot of damage output. That's where you normally pair Shadow Demon with someone like Lina or Leshrac, because they have not just a stun follow-up, which is what Ice Path is for the Jakiro, but burst damage. The Leshrac with Lightning Storm with Edict, Lina with Dragon Slave, and ultimately Laguna Blade. These heroes have a lot more burst damage. So that means the damage is going to come from other sources. And Batrider, he's going to Blink Lasso. He's going to be searching in this middle lane. Can he find this Puck? Dire Ward spots him out, spots the Blink Dagger. Everything has been foiled. More wasted time for DTS2010, and nothing is going their way. They just can't catch a break right now. Meanwhile, top lane we have got Krilly. He's got his phase drums. He's got a TP scroll, so he's going to be ready to TP to any clashes should they break out. And Seema, well, all he can do is go towards his bottom lane, and Strangby's just getting out of here. I think he knows it's a bit unsafe with the Batrider Blink Dagger on the foot. He actually wants to pick up his medallion as well, so he's level 8. He's 1-0. He hasn't actually been really punished as an offlane hero. Daxi's doing okay as well in this offlane. He's managed to get some XP and farm, but so much of this is just being gained from the jungle. He actually hasn't slowed down the lifesteal's farm, who is topping the CS charts. He's up to 68 CS, 52 on the Darkseer, 44 on the Bat, 45 on the Templar Assassin. So the middle of the pack is mostly DTS2010 here. Haven't got a ton of farm on Weaver and Puck. They're just a little bit behind those Radiant heroes, but with these 3 core heroes farm, they can maybe have a solution to the lifestealer. As said, the Templar Assassin with Meld maxed out. Is the kind of physical damage you need against a lifestealer. But for the time being, we're going to see Strangby back bottom, and well, he's maybe a target for the Batrider with Blink, but this is really the problem with this Bat Blink, is you can pick up a target here and there, but ultimately you're still going to be getting out-farmed and maybe beaten other lanes. It's where TA is doing fine mid, as far as last thing goes. Sure, he's 0-2, but if he's left 1v1, he's going to just farm away while puck gets very little. So we should be looking for Bat either to get pickoffs at bottom or top, and always have a TP scroll to counter get. Right now he hasn't got that TP up. If there's sort of a three-man rotation like we've seen multiple times in this mid lane TA, Batrider needs to be there fast with a Blink Lasso to help him out. So we're not going to see that for the time being, but it looks like that's because 4FC are going to start going for a tier 1 tower. They want to go for their first tower of the game. Meanwhile, bottom lane, there's your Blink Lasso. It's on Strainby, but his time up is out. I think the Ice Path actually missed. Even if that Ice Path lands, I don't think they have enough damage to kill him. There was no mana for a Flame Break as well, which is maybe the Ice Path lands, you get a Dual Breath and then Flame Break right as he's about to get unstunned from the Ice Path, but poorly executed gank in DTS2010 find themselves just twiddling their thumbs, wondering what to actually do here, and they're going to have to try and defend these 2 towers top. They've lost 1 tower already. They may just lose another one straight up. Looks like Darkseid can get the creep aggro off the tower just by dropping the Iron Shell, and that's going to be enough for DTS2010 to hold this tier 2 tower. But the first tower of the game does go the way of 4FC. Lifesteal is back bottom. Where's this Lifesteal gone? He's left top lane. He's going to find some kills bottom lane. Shikuchi in. Lifesteal and comes out of Infest. There, yeah, he's like, oh, do I disrupt? Leave it? No, I need to disrupt myself. Oh, I'm just dead. There is no way he survives that, and that's, once again, smart gank coming out from Lifesteal, even just for a support Shadow Demon at this point. Seems well worth it. We're going to see Undershock at mid lane get ganked out as well. The Ensnare cancels his PP. Batrider Flaming Lasso going to try and help him out, but Batrider's got no Lasso now. Oh, sorry, the Flaming Break. Flaming Break. Getting just every fire theme mixed up today as Batrider knocked me out to help out his buddy there in the middle lane. And another tower goes the way of 4FC. They're up 6 kills to 1. Getting towers now. Over 5,000 gold lead all of a sudden. This is a really solid all-around performance coming out from 4FC. A team who've always been sort of on the cusp of breaking out. They're not a new team. They've been around forever. They go to DreamHack most years. They give teams a bit of a tough time, like the top tier 1 teams, but they never actually get the wins they need. They never actually quite break out onto the scene as sort of an actual top contender. Never even, not even getting invited to the TI3 Western qualifiers, I believe at least. No, they weren't invited to the TI3 Western qualifiers, not because they didn't deserve a spot. It's just they weren't quite up there as they were just at like 1 step below. That was that next level of teams. If the qualifier had 10 teams, probably would have been invited. I say 10 because Kaipi would have taken the 9th invite, but 4FC were very close, but one of those teams who is still looking for that breakout, I guess, or also just enjoys playing. That's what I love most about this team, is it just seems like they're named 4 friends and Krilly. They just like playing Dota. They play together as a team quite regularly. They've sucked together, and they just seem like a group of friends who like playing high competitive Dota, like playing tournaments, and don't mind if they're not the best team in the world. They'll still keep playing and keep being a decent contender regardless, and we're seeing that right here. They're going to get themselves some more kills here. Puck going to orb himself past the Ice Path, not getting caught out. Shadow Demon is the first to take a fall. They get 2 kills now at the middle lane, and there's no response. Batrider has got a Flaming Lasso here. Oh, Nagasara, nicely played. Needs to TP out. There's a Batrider sort of homing in, and he looks like he's just going to try to walk his way out of this one, which is not what you wanted to do. Flame Break. Oh, gets dodged. Dr. Internet. That was something special, although he's still in a lot of trouble here. He's not home free just yet. And so it looks like this is going to be more than enough to chase him down. The Napalm stack is there. He's going to try to deny himself the neutrals. No, meld attack from the Templar Assassin. Gets the kill, but here comes Blowman. He's got a payload with him. He's going to have an infestive lifesteal. This is 2v3 though. I'm not sure if this fight's going to go too favorably for them. CA. The Darks get coiled up. Not going to get brought down. And it looks like Blom and Krilly forced to retreat. Didn't actually pop the drum charge, which he could have done maybe there, but I think even regardless, they're not getting that kill. This is an armlet up on Lifestealer already. Armlet, phase drum, 14 minutes into the game. Whew, he's looking really good. He's looking very, very good. Now, for those of you asking, I saw someone in the chat saying, what HUD is this? This is actually the WePlay HUD that comes with the ticket. So if you want to buy a ticket to support the tournament, to support the organizers, WePlay, as well as us, be on the summit, it's $8. You get the HUD, you get the courier, and you get a ticket. And this is a tournament. The ticket alone, you're going to have matches with Na'Vi, Alliance, your top American teams, Liquid, EG, Dignitas, and it's going to be a sort of 2-month tournament. We start with our 20 teams, 4 groups of 5. Then we cut it down to 8 teams. We have an 8-team sort of phase 2 bracket where we cut ourselves down to 4 teams, and then from 4 teams we have our final 4-team double elimination bracket to decide who is going to be walking away with their share of that $25,000 in prize money. So a great way to support the tournament. They've had this bigger prize pool. They have, in my opinion, an amazing format here and some of the best teams. So with a courier, a HUD, the courier is somewhat debatable. They're no longer called Justin Bieber, you guys will happen to know. Although I'm a bit sad. I love the Justin Bieber name. I wanted there to be a Justin Bieber in Dota 2, but it's not going to be the case. But all of that you can get in the Dota TV ticket. But for now, it's 4FC versus DTS 2010. Of course, all these games will be broadcasted for free on Beyond the Summit TV, as always. Mostly by myself with Luminous, and LD will be returning back to the Beyond the Summit studio on October 4th, so can look forward to and expect him once again in the studio broadcasting. But for the time being, it's just myself here solo casting the opening game. Luminous, I think, will be joining me from game 2 onwards. The matches today actually started an hour earlier than expected. As, they had enough damage. I thought that Jakiro had TP'd out just in time. He spotted them coming with an observer ward. He knew exactly what was on his way, and he still dies. That burst damage coming out from Krilly with a fast armlet is just insane. Supports tremble at the might of Krilly. Krilly already up to 2k gold. Look towards something like a Basher if you want to have some actual stun to deal with those TP outs. I'd love to see even just a Desolator for the pure physical damage, but mid lane's going to be the next focus of attention. There's a blink. Is there a lasso? It's going to be just a blink into a flame break. He couldn't quite get it. There's a vacuum. There's a wall. They blow up the weave at the mid lane. Couldn't actually get the time-lapse off, but here comes in Krillin. He wants the Shadow Demon. Rages up. Shadow Demon needs to go for a self-destruct, but it's on cooldown. He's already used it. Chen needs to start throwing some of these heals. The Sleep X is going to save the Chen's life here. Weaver's brought back into the fray here, and it's going to be Lifestealer and Puck on the backlines. They're going to bring down Undershock on the Templar Assassin. Blink up. Coming from the Batrotter, knowing there is no way they can fight this any longer, and surprised the Weaver actually went down so early that fight. Did buy back and come back and do some decent damage, but the Chen heals may be a bit slow, or just I think Chen was actually caught in the vacuum as well when he needed to be further back, and everyone caught in the vacuum just got disabled and taken out of the fight, and Weaver actually died in that AoE stun lock. So nicely played by DTS 2010 as far as the initial opening went, but from there they just are so far behind. They have such a big item disadvantage. They just can't fight 4FC, and 4FC, yikes, 17 minutes in, it's already over a 10k gold lead. As these guys are not wasting any time. They mean business. And this team who came through the qualifiers, DTS 2010, they had some great convincing performances then, and suddenly realizing, well, we're here with the big dogs now, and this is just 4FC. Teams like EG, Dignitas await them as well. Dignitas in the next matchup today, which is going to be, I believe, at 20 CEST, so definitely stay tuned for that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We'll have the enemy jungle just being occupied by 4FC. Deny them as much farm as possible, starve them out. And the Radiant team with a lack of wards just don't know where it's safe to farm. So they're going to go for a smoke here, but this is not a 5-man smoke. This is just 2 heroes. Strangby. Oh, immediate Song of the Siren gets used. It also gets cancelled because they can just straight up ensnare the Batrotter. The defensive disruption will keep him alive a bit longer, but for how much longer? Maybe actually save his life here, it looks like. They're going to change target, go on the Shadow Demon, life split. It just armlet toggling to try to save his own life here. He's going to try to find the darks now. Batrotter does go down in the background. Park. He gets brought down by some Jakiro AoE. Templar Assassin showing up as well. Armlet toggling from Krilly. There's going to be maybe enough to survive from this. Undershock is trying to bring him down, as is the darks here. He needs some more armlet toggling. He's not going to get it, but he's got an Aegis still. Life's still going to be respawning in a second. Now Weaver wants to chase down the Templar Assassin, maybe. TA going to be kept alive with a nicely placed vacuum as well, deterring any further chases. And Chen, he shows up. It's like, what just happened, guys? What's going on here at bottom lane? Well, some of his brethren were getting slaughtered here, as Undershock is going to find himself another death, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. No detection, just sits in the meld. Tornado going down. Oh, the Tornado's the Centaur stomps the infest damage. Undershock, there is just pop that refract and just make a run for it. Tornado damage. Death by tornado. This is the cruelest possible death. Shikuchi doesn't actually do damage, I believe, to Invis. As I would love to see him just die to the tornado. Nope, he's not going to do it. He's going to come out. Chen actually gets the kill anyways. Oh no, and now he's trying to be. Oh, he doesn't get brought down in the Lesto. He gets the time-lapse off, also gets sent back home. Huck and Lifesteal now teaming up, bring down the Shadow Demon. They're going to make it too, as they're going to bring down the Jakiro as well. And with Darkseer, the only one sort of here to help him, this is going to be another kill as well. It looks like Darkseer goes in. He's going to actually go Scepter out of the Surge. Nice bit of play there. Not so much nice bit of play, but nice item selection to actually deal with this aggression, but it's not even going to save his own life. He dies by the fountain, brought down. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a GG call here. DTS 2010 just being overwhelmed in their own base. Undershock going to GG out. It's all over in game number 1 here for DTS 2010. It's 4FC. In very, very convincing fashion, take game 1. This is much better than I expect out of this 4FC team. I know, I've seen them a bit in the past. I know they were good. I knew they were not so much a top tier contender for the top title, but I expected them to beat a team like DTS 2010, but I didn't expect them to do so so convincingly. This was just a complete walkover for them, and it was just a different bit of playstyle. Krillin normally going for a more sort of farm-heavy base play, but on the lifestealer, he wanted to be aggressive. He wanted to go for a lot of early game kills, and well, he does just that for his team, and as a result, it's 4FC who secure themselves game number 1 here at the WePlay Dota 2 tournament. This is Group B action. This is our first match of today. First match of Group B as well at that, so things just getting started. We're going to go through all the Group B matches, though, so the way this WePlay tournament works, the matches aren't all over the place, which is what I love, because we spend 4 or 5 days just on Group A. We have a Group A sorted. It's going to be Kaipi as well as Mal's Quantic Flipside Advantage, and now we're going to spend 4 or 5 days figuring out Group B, so you don't have to worry about the other groups. We'll get to those later. I'm looking forward to getting them, especially PGG's, the retry, which is going to be coming back. But for now, guys, it's Group B, and 4FC have opened things up with a very convincing victory over DTS2010. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit, and we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be live with our next match of today. I believe Luminous will be joining me. I'm not sure on that one. We may have to change some of the technical settings, but stay tuned, guys. We'll be live with our next match shortly.